You're watching Explore Tulsa.
I have an affinity for cheese and also trying to help others appreciate cheese. It's selfish, really, because if other people appreciate it, then there's an incentive for people to bring those delicious cheesy items into the state, and then I can have them, or I can bring them in and have an excuse to bring them in. It's not just cheese, it's a story. I mean, cheese is a living food. I mean, it continues to age and evolve, and once you understand that, this young, fresh cheese is gonna be really different from this cheese after 6 months or 9 months or 12 months, and you understand why, and you understand the different components that go into it, what's most important, and the reason I like to teach these cheese classes so much, is it makes people understand why this is special, why you don't just go get the block of regular whatever, to know the story of the farm and the farmer behind it and the cheesemaker, and to really feel their passion. I mean, it's a specialty product, and it's not a cheap specialty product. And so for people to understand, man, this is a pricey grocery product, but when you understand the amount of work that goes into it, the amount of care, the amount of time, and what some of these farmers put into it, it clicks. And then when you taste it, and you really can tell the difference between, it's like any product. And once you really get to know the people who produce it, you kind of feel the difference, and you at least get an appreciation for what makes it so special. So coming up this month, I do have some cheese classes. I've got a Cheese 101 class on the 21st of August, and that is in Tulsa at the market at Walnut Creek. I do split my time with Oklahoma City, so I've got some classes and some things going on there. At the end of the month, I have a couple of wine dinners that will be announced very shortly, but it'll be 5 courses paired with wine, and that's a project that I'm kind of working on. I call it Stories on Plates, because behind every great dish, there's usually a story. There's a great story behind so much great food, and those are the things that I like to share. I don't want to just feed you a plate and say, here, this is this. I want you to, just like the stories about the cheesemakers and telling people, this is why I love this. This is why you should love it. It's the same thing with a plate of food. I find that you enjoy it more when you can connect with it. Am I the Cheese Wench? I think I've been half mouse since I was a little kid. I actually opened and ran the cheese counter at the Grocer and the Gourmet. This was, 2008 maybe? And started teaching cheese classes there kind of by accident. I put together a kind of a Cheese 101 class for the staff so that they would know how to explain the cheeses while I was gone. Put together the big book. Here are the cheeses, here's what it is, and here's what it pairs with. This is the wine, this is the accompaniment, this is what it is. And Linda Smalley, who was the general manager at the time, said, that was a lot of fun. You're gonna teach it again next week for the public. And I said, no, I'm not. She said, yes, you are. So I started teaching the cheese classes, and I actually had labels printed out on the back of each piece of cheese would tell you what kind of milk, if it was raw, pasteurized, vegetarian, rennet, traditional. And then at the bottom it would list what wine or beer to pair it with. And Jason Ashley Wright came in to do a story for the Tulsa World on it, and he asked what my title was, and we kind of laughed, and we're like, well, they call me the Cheese Wench. And he printed it in the paper, and it stuck. And it was one of those kind of happy accidents. It sort of was a joke for a while, and then, like I said, it got printed in the newspaper and it stuck. And some people kind of look at me like, your name is what? And some people just crack up, but nobody forgets it.